Make sure you don't strangle me.
It's a big day for Peter Davies. He's about to receive the British Empire Medal for services to education.
What do you know? It still fits.
Yeah. Last time you wore a suit?
That was 100 years ago.
Oh, right.
This is something which really is beyond belief, to think that the king has decided that I'm worthy even. There are people out there who are far more worthy than me, but it really is, well, it's once in a lifetime, isn't it? Come on, you'll have to walk a bit quicker than that.
Peter is 100 years old. He's a World War II veteran, a former RAF pilot. For the last 6 years, he's been volunteering at his local school, helping children to read.
The fact it's being done in school, it pleases me no end. The school is the centre of my world these days.
The ceremony is led by the Lord Lieutenant of Cheshire, Lady Redmond.
Congratulations, absolutely fantastic.
Thank you, ma'am.
So pleased to hear it.
It really has been my pleasure. Thank you. If I make a mistake, you get a point. When you read that one, if you made a mistake, I get a point. Right, off you go.
Animals can help us in lots of ways.
Peter comes to school twice a week. Over the years, he's helped hundreds and hundreds of children with their reading.
Could not swim. Some dogs visit hospitals to help people relax.
I'm very proud of him, and I definitely think he deserved it. He helped me when I was in reception in the younger years. He definitely helped me. He was really enthusiastic. Even if you got it wrong, he would be really proud of you no matter what. Just put so much effort and used his time to help children in our community, which I think is really good.
He's just amazing for this school, and he's done so much for everybody, and even with this country, helping with the war and that, and yeah.
Peter started volunteering after his wife Gina died. They'd been married for 72 years.
Life became pointless in some ways. I was lost, I suppose.
What would Gina have made of today, do you think?
Oh, I think Gina would be over the moon. She would be so pleased for me, but it would have been quite something. It's fantastic in its way, Graham. It really is. It's like the weather. It's great.
In front of the laptop, please.
In front of the laptop, right.
Time for one final surprise.
Oh, look who's on it.
Hello, Peter. Hello, how are you?
We've arranged a quick call with the former head teacher who allowed Peter to start volunteering.
Can I see your medal? Have you got it on?
Yes.
Oh, look at that. That's amazing. Amazing.
Quite something, isn't it? I will be in school tomorrow when I'll bring the medal, and every child in school will hold it.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah.
And thank you, Peter, honestly, because the impact you've had on so many children, the positive impact you've had.
That's so very kind of you. Yeah, I can't thank you enough, love. It's been a pleasure talking to you, love. And a surprise. And a surprise. Yes.
Peter has always said he gets more out of volunteering than the children do, that it saved him after his wife died, that the honour is more for them than for him.
If you associate with young people, then you tend to stay young, as it were. I'm just grateful for what I've got, but the kids are the icing on the cake. The children don't realise the effect they have on me. It's a great honour, really is. And, it's been a super day, really has.
Peter's medal will now take pride of place next to his wife, Gina. Graham Satchell, BBC News.
There is a lot to love in that story, isn't there? So let's speak to Mavis Nicholson, who is a Schoolreaders Volunteer. Mavis, very good morning to you.
Morning.
And Caroline Dowson, who is Schoolreaders Regional and County Teams Coordinator. So Mavis,
Morning.
I don't think we need much convincing after seeing that, but where is the joy in sitting there, as you do, with a young person reading a story?
You should try it. It's absolutely brilliant. I've read since I was knee-high to a grasshopper, and I just love it. And to see other children enjoy reading, it's just a joy.
We hear, don't we, sometimes, Mavis, about young people who have yet to discover the joy of books, or struggling to get it. Have you watched that unfold? Have you seen a child who you've sort of sat down with and started reading, and you've seen something emerge that wasn't already there?
Yes. It's terrific when you go in at the beginning of term and you'll see a child who's got to come out here and read to you. And by the end of term, they're saying, "Can I read some more, miss?" It's great.
You know, one of the things about reading with someone is not always the book. It's the conversations that come around that, the
Yes.
things they spark off,
Yes.
and the things then that children tell you that perhaps they wouldn't engage with before. Do you find that?
Got it, yes. Part of the enjoyment of it is actually chatting to them, chatting about the book, and then they tell you little things and perhaps things that they shouldn't tell you, but, tell you my mum said such and such, and then you get one. Last week, one little girl said to me, I was chatting to her before we started reading, and she said, "Miss, we're wasting time. I want to read."
That's joyful, though, isn't it? OK, crack on. Caroline, how important is it that people, get the opportunity to volunteer and, and spend time with children, and also for children to meet people who aren't their teachers?
So important, Naga. So it's really opening up the world to the children. Of course, what we're doing is providing volunteers to really underpin the learning that the teachers are providing and giving children the opportunity to practice their reading. But it's also these conversations that they're having with Mavis and all of the other hundreds, thousands of volunteers that we've got across the country. And they have this opportunity to have a one-to-one relationship with somebody, and these volunteers are pouring their time into these children. And we know that over 90% of our schools have told us that children's reading ages are improving because of Schoolreaders Volunteers.
There is a statistic that's quite concerning, isn't there, at the moment, that 1 in 4 children, I think I'm correct, leaving school not able to read. Is that primary school?
So 1 in 4 children are leaving primary school below the expected reading age. And it's so much harder to access secondary education if you don't have those literacy skills. And what we very much want to do is focus on making sure that children are leaving primary school, being able to access secondary education and life beyond that. And that's what our volunteers are doing. So we know that reading age is the biggest factor in being able to access all of the education that is available.
I tell you, one of the things that came across so strongly from Peter's story, who was 100, was how much he was getting from it. The one part of this, obviously, is the youngsters themselves get engaged. But he was saying himself, it gave him like a new lease of life from a feeling very sad place. Is that similar for you?
I love going into school. It's about the only time I get to interact with children of that age, and they're just so funny, and I just love it. I could bore you silly.
Well, feel free.
Do it.
Go on then.
Do it.
Well, so you were saying, for example, you would have been there this morning, wouldn't you?
Yes, I would.
So you were there
have.
last week. So
Yes.
you go in, you sit down, and you're in a little room, and you do the thing. Well, what difference does it make to you? You come away from school that day. What difference does it make to you?
Oh, that was good.
It's literally, it's just that feel good.
Yes, yeah.
You've done something.
It's really nice. And
How often do you do it?
I just do it once a week. I go in on a Thursday.
And is it just with the one child, or do you? Is it
No,
various?
we go through. I perhaps could see a dozen children.
Oh, really?
In the morning, yes. Yeah.
You can absolutely see why, Caroline. You can see why it's such a good idea. There might be people who see Mavis and who see Peter and they think, I don't know if I'd be any good at it. You know, they might be thinking, I'm not sure. Maybe you thought that before you did it, did you?
Yeah, because I'm not from a teaching background at all.
What, worried that so you'd be lacking something somehow?
Yes, but it's great. It's just, and the teachers obviously give you a lot of help, give you guidance.
Because is the point that you're not, that the volunteers not necessarily teaching, they're with the child and experiencing reading, which there is a difference.
Yeah, there is a huge difference. So it is practising the skills that have already been taught. The children will bring a reading book which is appropriate to where they are in their reading journey. So school readers are available to support volunteers throughout their time in school, and we offer reading guidance before volunteers start. There is a course that they can do. And then we have online forums that volunteers are invited to share their experiences and ask questions to members of the school readers team.
Mavis, do you do funny voices when you're doing yours?
No.
Oh, OK. You just do them pretty, you just read.
The children read to me more than I read to them.
Yes.
And some of them do funny voices.
Good.
Some of them are very, very good at it as well.
It's part of the reading experience, isn't it, to be able to do a bit of that, just to embroider things a little bit.
Absolutely, to make it fun. Lots of children are reading alone at home, or they're doing group reading sessions with teachers and teaching assistants. So make those one-to-one sessions exactly what the child needs. That could be funny voices, acting things out, chatting about what's happening, but yeah, tailor it to what that child needs.
Also, it's making memories, and so many of our viewers, thank you both so much, so many of our viewers have been in touch about their favourite books as a child, and I think you can often tell their ages from the books they like. So this is someone who is definitely a similar age to me, who says Enid Blyton's The Magic Faraway Tree. I still have a copy of that at home. A well-remembered book with lots of viewers bringing this one up. Roald Dahl books also popular. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Matilda amongst those mentioned.
Yeah, so Maria's got in touch. She says, my late mum used to read to me all the time as a little girl, from Thomas the Tank Engine. It's a classic, isn't it? Thomas the Tank Engine to Paddington. But the one I remember most in my heart, I hear reading, is The Secret Garden, which is another great book.
Di said, I won a painting competition as an 8-year-old and chose the book Black Beauty by Anna Sewell. I treasured that book so much and cried whilst reading it, and cried those same tears when I recently reread it. There's nothing as good as a classic story.
I'll give you the last say, Mavis. What's your favourite? What's your favourite to read? What makes your heart skip when you see, oh, we're going to read that one?
Now you're asking. We've got a lovely one that we read at school about a leprechaun. And a little boy who wanted, a shepherd, who wanted the leprechaun to find him the pot of gold. Now, leprechauns aren't allowed to tell lies. So the shepherd put a red sock on the plant where the pot of gold was, went away for something or other, I can't remember now what it was. When he came back, every plant in the field had a red sock on it. The leprechaun hadn't lied.
But he'd hidden the destination.
Yes, amongst all the red ones. That was very clever. And we have quite a discussion about that.
It's clever.
I didn't know that leprechauns couldn't lie.
Now you know, Chuck.
Ah, now you know.
Now you know. Now you know.
Yes.
It's got me thinking.
Yeah.
Thank you both so much. Thank you. It's 14 minutes to 9.
So talks between Royal Mail and the Communication Workers Union are said to be close to collapse.
The board is said to be threatening to put the company into